Welcome back to HU16. I am Michael Cindric, and joining with me today is Billy Morgan, the voice of Harding Sports. Billy, can you just talk to me about this past Saturday and what your thoughts were?
Well, how much fun was it? I got on campus about 9 a.m. We had soccer to work. I didn't get to go to the dedication. We were finishing that up. And volleyball was also playing on campus. And just to see everybody, there was already tailgaters coming in at 9 a.m. And then I normally don't get to go out for the Brotherhood Walk, but I was coming over from the Stevens Soccer Complex, and I said, I'm going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to go to the Brotherhood Walk. And I saw you guys come in. I saw you walked right by me. And to just see all of the fans, the smiles, and just the atmosphere that was outside of First Security Stadium, I thought was just awesome. And then the Bisons brought that atmosphere inside the stadium, got off to a quick 45-0 advantage, and I thought played well in all aspects. Got off to a great start. I thought special teams were super. They gave the Bisons very good starting field position there the first few drives offensively. Defense came up with 3 sacks in the football game. Defense scored a touchdown. Coming in, it was a team from southwestern Oklahoma. Martin only been sacked 3 times all year, and the Bison sacked him on 3 times on Saturday and put pressure on him when we're not able to get to him. They hurried him, and I thought that was awesome. We got to see Coach Yancey go over 3,000 yards in his career, and that's only the 6th player in Great American Conference history that's been able to do that. And one other Bison, Romo Westbrook, has done that in the conference.
Yeah, it was an amazing week. Can you preview a little bit? We go on the road this week to Northwest, about 7 hours away.
Yeah.
Can you preview that matchup for us?
Yeah, you mentioned the 7 hours. It's the longest road trip in the regular season for the Bisons. And I know you guys like to be together in this football team. And, of course, Mike, a receiver on this football team. Enjoy the road trip. This will be a long road trip for the team. It's a scary game to me because of the fact that Northwestern Oklahoma, they know that a nationally ranked team's coming in. Bison's ranked number 18. It's no secret. Teams know about the Bison's success in the national playoffs and what has been going on here and the excitement that's around Harding football. So this is a big game for Northwestern Oklahoma. It's their homecoming as well, and they're coming off a loss to Arkansas Tech. So I don't think they'll be in a real good mood. I think they'll be ready to get on the field, play in front of what should be a big crowd. The one, when you look at their schedule, the one game where they really played their best was against UAM. It's a UAM team that's really playing well right now. They won their 5th game this past weekend, so their 4th game, I beg your pardon. They're off to they're playing very well, and it was UAM went out there and lost. So it's as I always say, one at a time. Northwestern Oklahoma, you talk about the long road trip, and obviously the Bisons will have to have very, very key focus on Saturday.
Absolutely. And you talking about one game at a time, looking in Region 3, there were a couple teams that stumbled up in games that they might not have expected to circle on the calendar before the season. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're in October, so you know what the main question, if I'm walking into the stadium or if I'm walking into what you guys practice, or maybe I'm at another event on campus, someone comes up and says, what about the regional rankings? They don't come out for a couple more weeks, but obviously in October we start looking at scores and seeing what's going on. Everybody wants to take care of their own business, but when you talk about Nebraska Kearney beat Northwest Missouri on Saturday 24-17, and then the other big game, which was, I wish I could, and maybe I'll get a chance to go and sit down and watch some of this because it had to be a great football game. Fort Hays went to Pitt State and beat them 42-41, and so that's about as good as it gets right there. But you're right; those 2 games obviously will be something to look at as far as our regional rankings, and we'll continue to do that. There will be some games that will surprise us this week. And the next week, and then as we get on in to November. So to me, this is a really exciting time of the season because the players and the coaches. I know it's 1 week at a time, but I'm as big a fan as I am a broadcaster, and so I'm looking at those things too. I want to ask you what it was like because I said I saw you walked right by me when you come in for the Brotherhood Walk. And how much does a Brotherhood Walk mean? And when you see the old Bisons coming in with you, the '89 team was here. I remember being a youngster in the stands when that team went over to UCA and won. So for them to get back, I say a youngster, I was 19. And at my age now, that's being a youngster. But to take that into the stadium? I know you guys were fired up during pregame warmups.
It was really electric. Being able to see the '89 team and really talk to them, and just their stories are so similar to the ones that we would tell in 20 years. It seems like of them just seeming like it was yesterday. They were strapping on the pads and the helmet and just getting after it. And the tailgate was packed. I think that's the most crowded tailgate I've ever seen for a Saturday game. And the Brotherhood Walk. I usually notice you walking by, but there were so many people, you couldn't see everybody, and it was a great atmosphere. The Sonic Field of Dreams that the kids were on was just special to be able to walk by, and I felt like I could go back in time 15 years ago and see myself playing on something like that, and so it was a really sweet homecoming, I thought.
People talk about distractions on homecoming. This football team didn't seem distracted at all, though. They really seemed to relish in everything that was going on. Why is that?
I think that coming into this week, we saw that there had a potential for a lot of distractions, and we kind of used it to hone in more and to zero into our job because we wanted to put on a good show for everybody there. And so, sometimes a lot of people there, it just causes a bunch of distractions and guys aren't ready. I think knowing the distractions that we had, we just all locked in together and were able to put in a good performance.
Well, it really was a super day.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Billy, for joining me.